Hello, everyone. It's only November 1st, but it's time for my November live stream. Hopefully, some people will see that I have gone live. Hi, thanks for joining. Okay, I have something cool I want to talk about tonight. I came up with this idea a couple weeks ago. I'm going to talk about 7 reasons that traveling makes me happy. Okay, I was thinking about this, and there's a lot of things in life that bring me joy or make me feel content. Okay, I mean that's lots of things. Seeing a pretty sunset, or my junior mints that I love, or clean sheets or whatever. There's lots of things like that in life that can bring you joy or make you contented, but there's only a few things that make me really happy. One of them is my kids. My kids make me really happy, and being a mom makes me really happy. And another one is traveling. Traveling legitimately makes me very happy. And so I want to talk tonight. I wrote down 7 reasons why traveling makes me happy. Okay, reason number 1. And I was specifically thinking about this a few weeks ago. Is it like 3 weeks ago now? When the kids and I went on our trip up north. And if you haven't watched those videos yet, I think there's been 4 so far, and there's 2 more vlogs coming from our trip up north a few weeks ago. And it's my Northern Adventure vlogs. And yeah, there's 6 of them. So if you haven't watched those yet, be sure to go back and watch parts 1 through 4, and 5 and 6 are coming up next week. So anyway, and if you've been following me on Instagram, Heather Travels the World on Instagram, I've been posting lots of really great photos from that trip. Okay, so these thoughts came to me while we were on that getaway. Okay, it was only a 2-night getaway. Nothing elaborate. We didn't fly anywhere or anything like that. But it made me realize these reasons why traveling makes me happy. Okay, number 1. Traveling is an awesome mood boost. It literally just makes you feel happy. Okay, and what I mean by that is I just noticed when you're anticipating getting to go somewhere and have a new adventure and see things you haven't seen before and do things you haven't done before, that anticipation and that looking forward to something just brings up your mood. And it having something to look forward to is just a mood booster. And then even when we just got in the car, just the act of getting to go places and see new things and everything just made all of us feel happier. We were smiling a lot, and we were in a good mood, and the kids are like, "Thanks, Mom, for taking us here, and this is so cool," and stuff like that. So just the act of traveling and going on adventures and doing stuff in itself is a boost to your mood. It just, no matter how down or you've been feeling, or work has been bringing you down, or school's a drag, or the routine of your life, getting to go places and getting to travel is a mood booster. So that's reason number 1. Okay. Reason number 2 that traveling makes me happy is hotels. Okay, I'm just going to say it. I am not a camper. I'm never going to be a camper. I love hotels. I really love hotels. I wish I could live in a hotel. Okay, for one thing, I like that hotels are trendy and stylish and nice, and they're nicer than my house. Okay, they refurbish all the time, and so hotels tend to be in really good shape. They take good care of them. Hotels are always, well, if you're staying in the right one, hotels are clean, and I didn't have to clean it. The bathrooms in hotels are spotless. If I could do one thing, as far as cleaning my house, I wish I could hire someone to come and clean my bathrooms. Just the bathrooms. I can handle everything else. I just hate cleaning the bathrooms. Does anybody else feel that way? Yeah, Shadow agrees with me. So hotels are clean. Hotels look nice. Hotels are comfortable. And it's always fun for me, when we stay in different hotels. If you look at, I have a whole playlist on my channel of room reviews, and I'm putting new ones up all the time. It's amazing to me, even within the same chain, how many different variations of rooms there can be. So hotels are just kind of cool to visit. I always like seeing what they do with the lobby. And the other thing I like about hotels is I don't have to make the bed. I actually don't mind making beds. I actually do make all of our beds actually every day. And I could not like function or go on with my day if the beds aren't made. I like making the beds, but it's really nice to have somebody else make your bed for you. That's just nice. And the other thing I really like about hotels, or at least most of the ones that we stay in, is breakfast is included and provided for you. And so that's really nice to know that you're going to get to go downstairs and somebody's made breakfast and you can pick and choose from the breakfast buffet and get something you want for breakfast and you didn't even have to think about it. So I really like staying in hotels. Hotels make me happy. And the other thing about hotels is they're kind of timeless. So you sort of lose like all sense of place even and time. I mean, unless you have some incredible view that's very specific to where you are, but hotels kind of like have a timelessness to them. Like you're not really thinking about the past, you're not really thinking about the future. You're just kind of in the moment in the hotel. And so I really, really like hotels. Okay. Third reason traveling makes me happy, and this is a big one, not having to cook. You are never going to see me when I go on a trip stay at some place with a kitchen so I can cook our meals and save money that way. I might recommend that to people as a way to save money, but I'm not going to do it. I absolutely hate everything about food preparation. I hate grocery shopping. I hate figuring out what to make. Like, what is that? Like, I was just saying to Megan tonight, I need a personal chef because basically I need someone who will figure out what we're going to eat every night for dinner and when we're off school every day for lunch too, and like buy the stuff for me. I actually don't mind the actual process of cooking that much. I don't like it. It's not something I would like choose to do. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, I love to cook. That's not me. I don't love to cook. I can cook and I will cook and I don't mind it that much. But like everything that goes into the whole figuring out what to cook and shopping and preparing the food and all that, I hate all that. I hate it. And so one of the big things I like about traveling is not having to cook or worry about food. The only your mom's the same, yeah. The only thing I think every mom probably feels that way to some extent at some or all of the time. I saw a meme that said, nobody told me or something about adulthood that the worst thing part of adulthood was having to figure out what you're going to eat for dinner every night for the rest of your life. It's so true. Anyway, when you travel, or at least when we travel, I don't have to think about food other than to pick out where we're going to eat. And the other thing about food with traveling that I really, really enjoy is it's a lot easier for me to find a variety of things to eat that we wouldn't normally eat at home when we're traveling. And it's a lot easier to eat healthier when we're traveling. Like a lot of the things that I would order to eat or that I would choose to eat or places we would go is stuff that I would never be able to make at home. Like it's just too hard for me or too complicated, or I can't get the ingredients where we live or whatever. And so there's just a lot more choice and variety. I mean, no matter where we go, I can always find, yeah, Disney food. There's always a whole bunch more restaurants. We live in a pretty small town. So even if I could afford to eat out more than I do, we don't have a lot of choices around here. And so when I travel, one of the things that I really like with food when I travel is having new restaurants to try and new places to go to eat that we don't have around here. And so I really like that. And like, it's a lot easier to get like good, yummy vegetarian dishes, for example. I feel so limited when I try to make vegetarian stuff. And so I just really like the aspect of travel that includes food and having really good food and really delicious food and well prepared food and a variety of food and new foods that maybe we haven't tried before. And the fact that I didn't have to prepare it or worry about how to get it or anything, that I can just order it and they bring it to me and I can eat it. So that part of traveling makes me very happy, the food. Okay, Number 4, this might sound like a weird one, but one of the things that makes me happy about traveling is, and I know this is going to sound strange, but not having to worry about money. Okay, now what do I mean by that? Because that doesn't seem to make sense. What I mean by that is I plan very deliberately and carefully, and I do a lot of research before we go anywhere, and I know exactly how much everything's going to cost. So I know how much it's going to cost us for food depending on how many of us are going. And I know exactly how much the hotels are going to cost. And I figured out exactly, like, do I have to pay for parking? And what sites are we going to see? And how much is that going to cost? I actually made a video about this. I think I made a couple videos about this. It's in my my trip travel planning playlist. I only have like 4 or 5 videos in that playlist, and there's a couple videos in there that talk about this, about how to budget for your travels and your vacations, and how to make sure you don't forget any of those small little incidental type fees. I'm really good at that. I really know exactly how to figure out exactly how much money we need to have and how much money I need to take. And so, I mean, when we came back from our last trip, you can ask the kids. I knew I had gone just a little bit over budget, and I came home and it was less than $50. So that's pretty good. When you're gone for 3 nights and however many days, and you're off by less than $50, that's a pretty good sign that you planned and prepared very carefully and deliberately and know exactly how much you're going to need. And so, because when we travel, I have researched and planned so carefully and figured out exactly how much money we need to have, um, it gives me a sort of relief and freedom, because I'll even have like a little list, and I'll go, okay, now when we go this place, I know this is going to cost exactly this much, and we're going to need this much for food and this much for gas. And I use, a website that plans out your gas for you, so I know how much the gas is going to cost. And I always cushion it a little bit, just in case. But like sometimes there's tax on there I didn't know was going to be on there or something. But I always come really, really close. And for bigger trips, I try to save ahead or pay the whole thing off ahead of time, so that the amount of money I have to take with me is minimized. And like a friend on Facebook recently was asking about what kinds of stuff they needed to pack for a cruise, because she and her husband are going on a cruise and they'd never been on one before. And so they were asking for advice. And somebody said, somebody else that I know had said, lots of money, I'm not kidding. And I didn't write back, but I thought to myself, if that's true, you didn't prepare right. You're either on the wrong cruise line and you're falling for a lot of stuff that nickels and dimes you, or you didn't plan ahead and research ahead and prepay the things that you could prepay, or whatever. So you shouldn't need to have you shouldn't end up with a whole bunch of unexpected expenses, is what I guess I'm saying. You should be prepared enough and take the time before you go places to do the research, so you're not caught unawares and going, oh my gosh, this costs that much. Oh, I don't have that. And you end up not being able to do something you wanted to do because you didn't plan ahead. So I guess I just find it very freeing and much more relaxing, actually, to do all of that planning and preparation ahead of time, so that we know we need this much money. And then when I come back, I don't have any bills to pay. I don't have any, there's nothing like that. I knew that we had to pay this much ahead of time, or I knew that we had to take this much with us and we saved it up ahead of time. And so I really like that aspect of traveling, at least the way that I do it, which I would recommend to anyone. And the way that's different from home is, it seems like my life at home is one endless day after another of unexpected expenses. Okay? Like, and now granted, there can still be unexpected expenses on when you're traveling, but like, especially on a big trip, that's what travel insurance is for. Um, if you're going on something that's, you're paying five, six, seven, eight, $10,000 for a trip, you want to have travel insurance to protect your investment. But I mean, if you're going on something small, I mean, maybe you have, like, for example, when we've taken a couple of road trips recently, there's a possibility something could go wrong with the car, but I still am kind of covered because A, I have comprehensive car insurance, and B, I have AAA. So, I mean, having things like that set up ahead of time so that you know that if something does go wrong, you're still kind of protected. But anyway, what was I saying? At home, it just seems like there's all sorts of things that are always going wrong. There's one thing after another that I have to pay for the kids for school. There's one thing after another that comes up with the house. It's just endless. There's just always stuff. I cannot wait to not own a house anymore. I want to go back to renting because owning a house is so stressful for me. And I mean, we bought this house when I was married, and I've actually lived here longer without my husband than when my husband lived here. And it's just one thing after another. And I just feel like regular life is like that. Like it's just one unexpected expense after another, or just there's another bill and another bill and another bill. And, or, oh, somebody needs new this or whatever. Stuff wears out and stuff, over time, there's just so many things to pay for. Whereas when you travel, it's a limited time and you know pretty much what you're going to be doing. So you don't have things like that come up. You know what I mean? And the other thing I would say about this, why I don't worry so much about money, is we really don't buy anything. Very rarely will I let the kids get like a small souvenir because, for one thing, like I said, I really want to sell this house and go back to renting, which means we're going to have to minimize and downsize considerably. And so we're really trying very hard not to, I mean, even with like birthdays and Christmas and everything, we're trying very hard not to accumulate any more stuff. We're constantly getting rid of everything we can and trying not to get anything else unless it's replacing something, you know? So, I mean, kids outgrow their clothes and their shoes and stuff. You're replacing them, but you're not getting more. So that's the thing too. If you don't buy a bunch of stuff when you travel, that really minimizes your stress over money because that can be a big unexpected expense. So that's something else about travel that makes me happy is it's actually the least stressful part of my life when it comes to money. It is. Okay. Number 5 reason that traveling makes me happy is getting to see things, getting to see beauty in nature, or getting to see famous sites that I've never seen before, or getting to see stuff. I just love that about traveling and all the things that you get to see when you go places that you've only seen pictures of, or you've never seen it in real life, or you've always wanted to see that, or something cool that you didn't expect to see, or whatever. I just really like getting to see stuff. I mean, like these last couple trips we've taken, getting to see like the beautiful fall colors, and on our trip up north, getting to see those waterfalls and getting to see the views of Lake Superior and stuff. Getting to see things is something that I really like about traveling. So that's something else about traveling that really makes me happy. Okay, the 6th reason that traveling makes me happy is new experiences. And kind of along with that is our natural curiosity and getting to learn things and learn about the world and people in the world and things in the world, like getting to learn new things. I feel like there's no better education than traveling. I mean, getting to go places and actually see what it's like is far more valuable than anything you can ever learn in school. So, we all, like me and all 3 of my kids, are very naturally curious people. Ben is constantly asking me very good questions. Sometimes they're hard questions and I don't know the answer. And so we try to find out together. But like when you travel, all sorts of questions come up and things that you're wondering about. And oh, how does that work? And why do they do that? And what's that? I mean, there's just all sorts of questions that come up when you're traveling. And I really like that. I like going out in the world and meeting new people and seeing new things and getting to experience new things. And I guess I'm thinking of like when we went up north a few weeks ago and we rode that gondola on Lutsen Mountain. That was a really cool experience that none of us had had before. And we got to learn like how the gondola worked, and this was a whole part of the state that we had never been in. And I mean, it was just really, really neat. And so getting to learn and experience new things that you've never done before. I mean, the kids, you're going to see a video coming up. The kids got to zip line. And Megan had ziplined once before at Kalahari, which was in one of my Kalahari videos. But Ben had never ziplined before. And they both got to zipline. And so that was a new experience for them. And so anytime you can travel, there's thank you. Anytime you can travel, you have the opportunity for new experiences and new learning opportunities that you wouldn't have any other time. So I just think that's a really valuable aspect of traveling and something that I really love and really makes me happy about traveling. Okay. The seventh thing I love about traveling, and this is the last one, so this is actually going to be kind of a shorter live stream tonight, is I absolutely love having uninterrupted time with my kids. My kids are my absolute favorite people in the world. I absolutely love my kids. Even if they weren't my kids, I would think they were totally awesome people. But because they're my kids, I love them so much. And I just love spending time with them. There's no one else on the planet that I would rather keep as company and spend time with than my own kids. And so, okay. And so I absolutely love spending time with them. And the thing is, when we travel, all of the other stuff in life kind of falls away. And so you're not worrying about all the stuff at home. You're not worrying about school and you're not worrying about work. At least you shouldn't be, because you're so focused on that time together and you're focused on those new experiences like I just talked about. And you're focused on those cool things that you get to see, and you're enjoying the relaxation of being in your hotel and not have to worry about cooking. And all of these other things that I said that makes me happy about travel makes my kids happy about traveling too, right, guys? And so that time together, and like whether we're in the car or on a plane or just all those meals together sitting around, because I don't know about you guys, but when we eat at home, 99% of the time we're eating in front of the TV. So we're not really, I mean, a lot of the time we're watching a show together, so we're talking about the show and stuff, but those uninterrupted meals together at restaurants and the time going from place to place, or even downtimes while you're waiting to get on a plane or whatever, you're together and you have lots of time for conversation and you have just lots of time together, and we laugh so much and we just really enjoy seeing those things. And I hate the expression making memories. I don't like that expression at all. It just rubs me the wrong way. But you are doing that. When you travel together as a family, you're doing things that everybody's going to remember for a long time or the rest of their lives. And I just really like that. And I really like that it's totally uninterrupted. There's no, you don't have emails to answer, and you don't have bills to pay when you're traveling, and you don't have stuff to deal with in your house. You don't have chores to do. And I mean, there's some stuff you have to do, but I mean, it's different, it's a totally different experience. And I really, really, that really makes me happy to get that time with my kids. And if you haven't watched what was kind of my premiere video, Traveling as a Single Mom, which was one of the first videos I posted way back in June of 2018, I talk a lot more about this in that video. And so that is probably my favorite thing about traveling, is getting that time together with my kids. And I'm actually like a little bit worried that when they grow up and they're all adults, and I'm scared if they don't want to travel with me anymore. I'm not really, I mean, I have traveled alone a lot. I traveled alone a lot in my 20s before Andrew was born, and even after Andrew was born, actually. But I don't mind traveling alone, but I think that since I've had the experience of traveling with my kids and how much I enjoy traveling with my kids, it'll be hard for me to go back to traveling alone if I can't get one of them to go with me. So, um, yeah, that's just one of the things about travel that makes me really happy. So those are my 7 reasons why traveling makes me really happy. And part of the reason that I decided to have a travel channel on YouTube is because of these reasons. And I just wanted to share all those with you. And if there were more people on, I would ask you guys, what are your reasons that does travel make you happy? And if so, what are your reasons that travel makes you happy? Do you agree with what I said? And or do you have other reasons that traveling makes you happy? And if you missed this when it was a live stream, I would love if you would write those in the comments below. So thanks everybody for joining me tonight. This was a kind of a short one. And if you're watching this later, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I need more subscribers. And click the notification bell so you don't miss any more of my upcoming videos. I do want to say, starting after today, I am going down to 2 videos a week. I've had 3 videos a week for quite a few months now. It's probably 6 months or something. But I'm going to be going back down to 2 videos a week. We don't have any big trips planned anytime soon. So it gets a little harder for me to come up with content for you guys. And I definitely feel like, aside from these, my live streams do quite well. And my Universal Yums video, our first one in October, did quite well. So we'll have more of those coming up. But it seems like you guys like the on-site vlogging videos more than just me sitting here talking to you. Would you agree? I don't know. Tell me that in the comments below too. So I really try to stick to more of those if I can. So that kind of, if I don't have as much footage, I don't have as much to share with you. So that's why I'm going back down to 2 videos a week for a while. So, okay, guys, thanks again for joining me. Subscribe. Give me a like if you liked this video. Have a good night and safe travels.